Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 2, Watanagashi. So last time, it was pretty much Keiichi, and then Uishi being detectives, all of them, right? With Rena also doing some of her detective stuff, telling us what uh might have happened, right? And then Uishi later on talking to Keiichi, and then me being mind blown and don't know what to do anymore or don't know what to think anymore. I mean, so yeah, let's just continue this, man. Let's see what happens in today's episode. So let's load this one. Yes. I lay down on the couch and stayed there dazed for a while. My mind was completely blank. I couldn't think about anything for more than a few seconds. There was a note in my house saying that mom and dad would be home late and that I should have some ramen or something for dinner. I could make it whenever I got hungry, but I had no appetite, so I just stared blankly at the ceiling without eating anything. The hands of the clock were already pointing at 10. Would I get another phone call like today? Well, that would be very creepy though, right? If Shion would call Keiichi, right? Even though Shion had already disappeared, would she still call me? Were they calling from and who were they? The more I thought about it, the more I started to tremble. I even thought about just disconnecting the phone line. If I had been thinking a little less logically, I really would have done it too. Hold on, Keiichi Maibara. Oishi-san admitted it himself, didn't he? That Shion went missing a lot. Couldn't she have just gone to the relatives that Oishi-san didn't know about and have been there ever since? Shion and I were both being targeted by somebody, so it wouldn't be strange to think that she went somewhere she usually didn't in order to hide. That must have been why Oishi-san couldn't locate her and why he labored her as a disappearance. Yeah, that had to be it. Shion hadn't disappeared at all. Then my right hand moved of its own volition and slapped me on the cheek. It's called seeing let me calm down a little.
都合よく考えすぎるなよ、前原圭一。
I knew I didn't want to admit she had disappeared. Admitting it would mean that something terrifying was definitely happening. I just needed to figure out whether Shion was the one on the phone or not. Would I ask her if she was actually Shion? That seemed like an incredibly absurd thing to do.
でも逃げるな、圭一。
If the person on the other end still believed that I thought she was Shion, then that gave me a tiny advantage. Completely casually, I would listen to what she's had to say. And fend her off, I mean. I would tear the skin off that monster. It would definitely be really scary for me. However, as the last survivor of the people who went into the storehouse that night, this was my duty to perform. Still, then, who would call me and pretend to be Shion? I may have only heard her over the phone, but her voice shouldn't be that easy to replicate. That was definitely Shion's voice. It sounded just like her. The thing is, both of them are twins. So maybe they can imitate their voices of the other one, right? The way they speak. Maybe. It could have only been Shion. There was someone though, wasn't there? Someone who sounded just like Shion. Mion. Who else could have done this? At this point, seriously, after all this time, all those little things that didn't quite make sense about Mion until now overwhelmed my mind. Like being questioned about sneaking into the ritual storehouse and how she shook the ladder while spouting curses. Who else could have? Why though? Why would Mion? I thought back to the things about the Sonozaki family that I had heard from Oishi-san and Shion. Mion has always entangled in the incidents in a position where she was omnipotent. Some of that information included things that Shion had told me after she had disappeared. I madly scratched at my head. Courage. Give me courage, please. Just a little bit of courage to pick up the phone. I know it will ring tonight. It would be so easy to run away. That, though, would be the same as making it easy for them to erase me. I cannot run. I must stand up and face it. After all, the next sacrifice would definitely be me. I was sure Shion would use tricky words to try and trap me. Be careful. Be very careful. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm very scared. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. This game is breaking my mind. Okay. And then suddenly someone is calling. At that point it rang. The phone rang and it didn't know where the call was coming from. Shion had disappeared. Disappeared a long time ago. Disappeared the night after Watanagashi. Yet, until today, she had been calling me like nothing had happened. Now again tonight. The people had disappeared, their corpses simply haven't been found. I really didn't think they were alive. So if it really was Shion on the other end, and then did that mean she was calling me from another world? Of course that couldn't be. A living being was calling me pretending to be Shion. Shion was long gone, and yet as though she were alive and well. The phone continued its incessant ringing. I didn't want to pick it up if I didn't have to. I had just concluded though that not doing so wouldn't solve anything. Then what would I do after I answered it? Would I immediately declare she wasn't Shion and ask who she was? Alternatively, would I pretend I was still fooled and try to grab her by the tail?
それが一番安全かもしれないよな。
Just answer it, man. I want to hear as well. What I was most afraid of was what the person on the phone would do when she realized I knew she wasn't Shion. However, as long as I continued to let her think I was fooled, she wouldn't do anything extreme, right? If I just make sure to be careful, that should be the safest option. I made up my mind. I'll answer the phone. Once I do that, I'll talk to her as if nothing had happened. That wasn't all I'd do this time though. I'd scope her out. Who was she? What was she thinking? And what was she after? Why was she doing this? Was she really the one who killed Tomitake-san and Takano-san? But yeah, I don't think if it's Shion, I don't think she was the one who killed Tomitake or Takano, right? Just like how in chapter 1, Takano and Tomitake they didn't reveal, right, who killed them? They just died there, and then Takano went missing, right? For this one, I think it was the same like that. It was more on the other victims, like Kimiyoshi, Rika, Satoko. What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko? I reached out for the receiver, my arm trembling. Just answer it, man. There were too many things I wanted to know, too many things I wanted to ask. I was scared. I should start picking up the phone. Pick it up, Keiichi. Just pick it up, man. It's getting annoying.
もしもし。
ケイちゃんですか?
This is the thing. This is the thing about this game. They may be baiting us. They keep saying that, Shion, quotation marks, right? Maybe it is Shion. This is Shion. This is really Shion, right? Maybe they're just baiting us, right? And saying, oh, it could be Mion, right? Pretending to be Shion. But for me, it's the opposite. This is really Shion, and then whenever we see Mion, it is Shion.
私です。シオンです。
My momentary convenient and above all fleeting prediction was ripped into 1,000 pieces. I couldn't help shaking at this point. And get ready for this.
電話、なかなか出なかったんで、お留守かと思って切ろうとしてたんですよ。
ごめん。ちょっとお風呂に入っててさ。
それでも、ご家族の方が電話を取りませんか? ひょっとして、ケイちゃんの家、今ご両親はお留守なんですか?
I failed. I let her in on a fatal piece of information that was currently the only one in my house. Oh, just like... No, okay,
い
never
や
mind, never
別
mind.
に留守ってわけじゃ。そんなことより聞いたか、リカちゃんとサトコの件。
いえ、結局あの後どうなったんですか？見つかったんですか？
ああ、見つからなかった。
ケイちゃん、どうか気を落とさないで。
If Oishi-san hadn't let me know, then I might have allowed myself to shed a tear or two at Shion's considerate words. Instead, now that it had come to this, I couldn't take her words at face value. This person on the other end of the receiver, the more perfect a Shion they were, the more my blood curdled in fear.
リカちゃんとサトコはさらわれたんだよな。
はい、それは間違いないでしょうね。
Just how cruel and grave a meaning did those words hold? Their weight astonished me, and then a moment later I was overcome with numbness and I felt like I would pass out. I had asked if Rika-chan and Satoko had been kidnapped. Shion, in turn, had answered that there wasn't much doubt. The cruel meaning behind her
リ
words.
カちゃんとサトコは、いや、ごめん。村長さんはさらわれてどうなったと思う？まだ生きてるんだろうか？
What happened to Rika-chan and Satoko after they were kidnapped? That's what I wanted to ask, but I frantically caught myself. What if she had given that question a terrifying response in such a way to sound like it had nothing to do with her? I was scared of that, so I immediately brought up the mayor. That said, however much I thought, oh my god! The hell is your problem?
おいおい、そんなにあっさり。
人間をさらってその状態を維持するのってとても大変なことだと思います。人質にするんでもない限り、ヨンが済んだら殺しちゃうのが一番合理的じゃないかと。
I mean, it's kind of obvious though, right? That at least for them, I mean, I don't think they were onikakushi like the previous victims, right? Like just mysteriously disappeared. Yeah, these people are probably dead now. Most likely. The word stated to bend so much, I almost lost my balance. And if Shion is doing it, there was no reason for her to keep them alive, right? Just end them. The scenery in my eyes rolled around and around like the hands of a clock and tried to swallow me whole from below. I frantically put a hand on the wall to support myself. A moment later, a severe nausea welled up within me. How was she saying such things so lightly?
殺しちゃうって、そんなにあっさり。
Oh my god, what is this music, man?
人の命を何だと思ってやがるんだ。
恐ろしいことだとは思いますが。
Honestly, this music is like, it's terrifying. It feels like someone is gonna chase me.
多分そうではないかと。
If the mayor was killed, then didn't mean that the same had happened to Rika-chan and Satoko? Oh no, that couldn't. They weren't some random old man. It was Rika-chan. It was Satoko. They couldn't kill them so readily.
リカちゃまとサトコちゃんも同じだと思った方がいいでしょうね。
Dude, man, I'm playing this at 3 a.m. in the morning. What the hell? Those were the words I wanted to hear the least, and I fought them back with a scream of my own. Even though it wouldn't change anything, still, I still couldn't help but scream. Oh my god. This time the tears flowed. I'd been confronted with the most horrific outcome that I'd been trying to avoid, considering ever since last night, and I cried. There was no longer any doubt that it was my fault. I killed them. I killed Rika-chan and Satoko. I succumbed to the weakness of my own heart and confessed everything to Rika-chan. That's why they were killed. That meant I killed them. When Rika-chan looked at me with those innocent eyes, if only I hadn't given in. Even my voice gave out, and yet I still cried. And cried.
ケイちゃん、どうか
Please.
気を確かに。
Rika-chan and Satoko, they've been killed. We couldn't even find their remains. I would never be allowed to even apologize to their faces. If that was to be my punishment, then how brutal a punishment it was. I think Shion tried to comfort me, but I didn't hear any of it.
そんなことでどうするんですか？次に狙われるのは確実に私かケイちゃんなんですよ。お願いですから、しっかりしてください。お願いします。お願いしますから。
Shion was shouting, imploring me with a voice that sounded like tears were in her eyes. However, I was coming to hate that sound of that voice more and more. This Shion killed him. I had no doubts that this person killed him. Yes, Keiichi. Why?
どうしてだ
Why?
よ。どうして人をさらったり殺したりするんだよ。たたりだかなんだか知らないが、人の命ってのはそんなに安いのかよ。あっさり消したり殺したり。
ええ、全くです。悪魔ですよね。
I felt like crushing the receiver in my hand. How long did this person plan on acting like it was someone else's problem? There was a magma in the pit of my stomach, and it felt like it was going to erupt at any moment.
なあシオン、教えてくれ。どうしてこの北見沢では綿流しの夜に人が死ななければならないことになってしまったんだ。
それは私が知りたいです。
もうダム計画との戦いは終わったんだぞ。なのにどうしてまだたたり足りないんだ。どうしてだよ。どうして。理由があるなら言ってみろよ。
I was incoherent at this point. My emotions had broken through the dam inside of me, rushing forth, and I couldn't stop them. These were not simple reactions or questions, this was an interrogation. Shion herself hadn't realized it yet, it was just too funny. It was so funny that I couldn't stop crying.
ケイちゃんの気持ち、私もよくわかります。ダム闘争はとっくの昔に終わったんです。なのに毎年、お社様のたたりという名の殺人と失踪が繰り返されている。なぜ？ どうしてなんですか？全然関係ない人もいた。たたられるのに不相応な人だっていたのに、どうして？どうして？
それを俺が聞いてるんだ。
Oh my god, both of them are being crazy right now.
それを私だって知りたいんですよ。
Both our ragged breaths could be heard over the
いい
phone.
ですか？お社様のたたりなんて非現実的なものは初めから存在しません。
Yes, because it's you, Shion. You're the one doing this.
ケイちゃんの言う通り、村の何者かがお社様のたたりというもっともらしい大義名分を利用して綿流しのたびに殺しと失踪を繰り返しているんです。
I just need evidence that it was you.
奴らは狡猾でした。たたりを都合よく利用して村の中敵を毎年2人ずつ消し去るシステムを構築していったんです。そしてこのシステムで今年は高野さんたちが殺された。
じゃあ2人で十分じゃねえかよ。どうして村長やリカちゃんやサトコまで殺されなくちゃならないんだよ。それに俺は過去のことは今さらどうでもいいんだ。リカちゃんとサトコがなぜ殺されなくちゃならなかったのか、その一点にしか興味がないんだ。どうしてなんだ。サトコには打ち上げですらないんだぞ。どうしてサトコまで。どうしてなんだ。
A silence fell between us. Shion didn't answer for a
ケイ
while.
ちゃん、もういじめないでください。
A sob? Was Shion crying?
私だって何が何だかわからないんです。最後殿に忍び込んだあの晩から全てが変わってしまった。
It was the same for me. As I listened to Shion's bitter weeping, I could feel my agitation subsiding.
あの晩、高野さんたちが死んだと聞き、耳を疑いました。そしてすぐに気づいたんです。今度は自分が狙われる立場になったんだって。忍び込んだのは私たち4人。私とケイちゃんだけが都合よく許してもらえるわけがない。そう思った時、それがどれだけ心細くて恐ろしいことだったか、ケイちゃんにはわかりますよね。
There was nothing fake about her words. She'd even understood how I felt.
だから私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。私はみんなが入ってはいけないという最後殿に面白半分な気持ちで踏み入ってしまいました。いけないことだとは分かっていましたが、本当に面白半分な気持ち、ちょっとした探検気分のつもりだったんです。一緒に入った高野さんたちはその後すぐに殺されてしまいました。それもあんなむごい最後。あの日からいつ私も襲われるのではないかと怯えています。君吉のおじいちゃんしか助けてくれる人がいません。だからおじいちゃん、助けてって。君吉のおじいちゃん、怒らなかった。そしてにっこり笑って、しおんちゃんがちゃんと反省してるなら鬼隠しになんかなるものかって、本当に笑いながら任せなさいって。
Sheen cried bitterly, recalling the beloved mayor's death. It was such a sad voice that no one who had heard it could prevent it from twisting their hearts. Again, I let my emotions take over and go off at her. Sheen was in the same situation as me. She should have been my one and only comrade. My heart pounded. My other self, deep within my mind, whispered to me, "Don't forget Keiichi Maibara. Don't forget about the mayor in the morning after Watanagashi. He was told of Takano-san and Tomitake-san's deaths over the phone and committed to a meeting that evening. He went to a hospital appointment. He didn't tell his family. He had only made it back just in time for the meeting. He went straight to the assembly hall. That's what Oishi-san said."
いつ
Yeah, when did you talk to him, Shion?
村長に打ち明けたんだよ。
Yes, okay, here we go.
ごめんな、シオン。悲しい気持ちのところに追い打ちをかけるようで。シオンは打ち明けたんだよな。君吉のおじいちゃん、つまり村長に。
はい。
いつ打ち明けたんだよ。
Dude, what the hell? Just say it, man. I began to get scared of saying it aloud after hearing her sad voice. I wasn't saying it was contradictory though. Besides, if there was a contradiction, then I wanted Shion to explain it to me.
村長さんは重い痔を患ってて、病院にかかっていたという話は知ってるか？
ケイちゃん、それが何か？
答えてくれ。知らないなら知らないと答えればいい。
There was a momentary silence. And then after stammering a few times, she replied,
痔だったのは知ってます。
Okay.
座る時とか辛そうでしたから。
病院に通ってたんだ。どこの病院かは知ってるよな。
ごめんなさい。それはちょっと知りませんけど。でもケイちゃん、それが一体何の。
Shion didn't know what hospital the mayor went to. That meant it was impossible for her to have gone all the way to the hospital to confess everything. Since she didn't know his destination, then she obviously couldn't have seen him on the train either. If there was any other chance for her to contact him, it would have been after he came to Hinamizawa. The train, however, had been delayed and he only got back right before the meeting was about to start. He didn't have time. There wouldn't have been enough time for him to listen to Shion spill the beans.
単刀直入に聞きたいんだ。シオンはいつ村長に打ち明けたんだ。どこで、いつ。大雑把でいいから教えてほしいんだ。
ケイちゃん、なんでそんなことを。
Her sob pierced into my ears. Dude, please. I was taken by the illusion that I was bullying her. Even so, I'll say it. If I'm wrong, then please correct me. Please prove to me that you're the real Shion.
ありえないんだよ。村長が失踪した日、朝から消えるまでシオンには接触できる機会はありえないんだ。村長は朝一で誰にも内緒の大学病院へ一人で診察に出かけた。シオンは今この病院を知らないと言った。だから帰ってくるまで村長と接触することはできないはずだ。そうだろう。帰りの電車が事故で遅れたので自宅に帰ってきたのは会合の始まる直前だった。つまり会合が始まるまでの時間にも打ち明ける時間的余裕はないんだ。
I heard Shion repeating her weak sobs. That sort of feminine voice automatically ripped into my heart. It was so painful for me to say it.
シオンも一緒に会合に出たのか。そして会合の席上で打ち明けたのか。ここで打ち明けなきゃもう時間がないもんな。村長は帰宅途中で失踪するんだから。
Shion went to the meeting, didn't she? Did she or didn't she? Oh, maybe she could have pretended to be Mion and she attended the meeting, right? Yes, maybe. The question was so simple to answer, but she didn't give me an immediate response.
実は会合にで。
あの日シオンが行くと言ったバイトすら君は欠勤してるんだ。もっと端的に言おう。君は俺と一緒に行った図書館以降誰にも目撃されていない。
ケイちゃん、
園崎シオンは綿流しの翌日に失踪したんだ。
The other end felt silent as a grave. It was so quiet that it was like the phone cord had been cut. I couldn't sense anyone there.
大石さんは君がすでに失踪していると言っているんだ。でもシオンはこうして毎晩俺に電話をかけてきてくれただろ。
Shion's sobs are torturing me. Still, I'm pretty sure I haven't said anything
頼
wrong.
むシオン。俺が言ったことが間違ってるならそうだと言ってくれ。シオン頼むから。シオン、お前は村長に会ってなんかないんだ。もし会ったとしたなら
If Shion ever did have a chance to meet with the mayor on that day, then that meant
村長が会合を終えた後、すなわち失踪する直前、もしくは失踪してからしかありえないんだ。
oh my god, dude. What the hell is this? I can't look at my monitor, man. What the hell? What is that? Oh my god. I stood there dazed for a while until I realized she had hung up on me. What the hell was that? What was that face? Oh, okay. They got tips. Scrapbook 9. The problem with the twins. This is not limited to just Inamizawa, but Onigafuchi village, especially the three families detested giving birth to twins as successors. The long-term dictatorship built on the precarious balance of the three families must have feared collapsing under the weight of the internal strife from things like family quarrels. According to literature, if twins were born, then they had to be culled. With that, the very fact that both the Sonozaki family's successor, Mion Sonozaki, and her twin Shion are alive is in itself deeply interesting. Perhaps the current leader Oryu is sympathetic. Of course, the twins were not cared for equally, and as the heir, Mion received special treatment. From what I've heard, despite the two of them looking exactly the same on the outside, the talent lies solely with Mion. My own observations of the two of them don't leave me with that impression. Tradition dictates that the leader of the Sonozaki family is said to inherit a demon, and they tattoo a magnificent one onto his or her back. Tattoo. So this is the... what do you call this? If we can see this, if that person we're talking to, if it's Mion or Shion, right? In accordance with the tradition, there is an extremely high possibility that Mion has such a tattoo on her back. Okay, we need to see this. This is the evidence we need. From what I've heard, there is apparently a magnificent demon tattooed on Oryu's back as well. Then I wonder what sort of tattoo belongs to the heir Mion. I really want to see her back. I really want to see it too. So if we can determine if it's actually Shion or Mion, right? Suzu Mahjong Parlor. Reserved for the day, the Suzu Mahjong Parlor. Platter collect.
あんりゃ、クラちゃん、あんたが一番遅いよ。若い人はみんな揃ってる。
じゃあお母さん、すみませんね。
Oishi-san handed over a convenience store bag with a carton of cigarettes in it to the old lady who owned the mahjong parlor, and she shrewdly made herself scarce. She was used to this by now.
おいさん、お疲れ様っす。
なんだ、みんな真面目に待ってたんですか？さんまでもやってりゃよかったのに。
Everyone sitting at the mahjong tables in the small parlor were Oishi's subordinates, but there were no tiles laid out anywhere.
皆さん、連日の不眠不休の捜査、本当にお疲れ様です。
よし！
Thank you. Energetic responses filled the parlor. Already, it had lost the atmosphere of a place of entertainment.
状況は芳しくありません。所長が園崎系議員の恫喝に屈したそうです。近日中に高野殺しは岐阜県警に譲り、村長たちの失踪は 行方不明扱いで生活下に委ねるようです。
That damn upstart chief. The veterans in the room cursed him.
請求した令状もすべて却下されました。課長からは園崎家界隈には近づくなとまで言われています。
So they can't even go near the Sonozaki house. So if the only one who can go there is, of course, it's gonna be Keiichi, I suppose, right?
いやいや困ったもんです。
Like if he wanted to check, I mean.
ちなみに私には来週から警視庁への研修命令が出るそうです。その後は余った有給を伊豆で消化しろとまで言われています。いや、そういうのも悪くないですね。
He heard a few dry laughs. It wasn't anything to laugh about, but that was all they could do.
いつもそうですが、事件と車のキーの閉じ込めはよく似ています。車なら修理業者を呼んで扉をこじ開ける。事件なら熊ちゃん、図面を。
Kumagai flipped over the whiteboard. On the back was a map of the Sonozaki premises made with magnets.
私もずーっとこの商売をやってます。勘には自信があるつもりですがね。退職金が欲しい方は私が10数える間に席を外してください。
Oishi began to count to 10 and everyone counted along with him. It was their famous 10-count resolution.
9、10。ああ、誰も出てかないよ。皆さん、ご家族はもっと大切にしてくださいよ。
Everybody laughed uproariously, cheering things up.
各自、手元の資料を確認。監視カメラの所在と資格を叩き込んでください。クマちゃんは指揮者で待機。非常時は私に代わって指揮をお願いしますよ。小宮山君は突入 A 班、淳君は突入 B 班を指揮。監視班は1から8まで所定の位置で監視を。盆地君はタイムテーブルを厳守。署に怪しまれないようローテを管理してください。さて、待機中の班が一番大仕事ですよ。課長に私の所在を聞かれたらとぼけてください。ゲストのエスコート役は私がやります。きっと会場へ連れて行きますので、皆さん気長に待っててください。
落ちるっすかね、前原圭一は。
私の見たところじゃ、明日明後日には行けそうですよ。もうコロッとね。
I think today's episode is the most, I suppose, scary. Yeah, what the hell was that, man? Like, that face in the ending. Jesus Christ. But basically it confirmed to us that it is the Sonozaki, Mion or Shion. It can't really tell right now who it is until we see the tattoo, right? Because yeah, the tips there. Thank God there was a tips there that the heir, or yeah, the leader, the heir of the Sonozaki family has a demon tattoo on the back. So if Mion is the heir basically, right? So if she has if one of them have the demon tattoo, that's gotta be Mion for sure, right? I don't know. It was really good. Yeah, this episode. It was just scary, man. Holy shit, not gonna lie. And yeah, let's see what happens. I guess Keiichi's gonna go visit the Sonozaki place, right? In this chapter for sure. I guess by the end, we will have to see. Maybe next episode, yeah, maybe. But Yeah, he's gonna go there for sure. And it's gonna be the confrontation for sure, right? I guess. And I suppose it's gonna be like with the face like that we saw earlier, right? You saw that smile there grinning. It's gonna be a confrontation and who knows what happens, right? After hearing that with Shion, I suppose. I don't think Keiichi is kind of like crazy, like or hallucinating or whatever, etc. Like in chapter 1, I don't think so anymore. Let's remove that theory that I said last time that maybe Keiichi is just imagining all of this, right? Let's remove that one. It's Shion or Mion, but I'm leaning towards Shion, and we're gonna have to find out. Hopefully this chapter ends soon, man. Like, I want to know how this chapter ends. Like compared to the first one, right? I think this, like for example, chapter 1, right? It was really good. The ending. It was really good. The beginning for the series. It was a really nice introduction. But this one, when we started this one, pretty much slice of life. The first half, but the second half, it became like really, 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 really good. The mystery of this one. I was just I'm fascinated right now. I really love it, and I can't wait to see the ending of this chapter. So yes, we will end our episode today with that. Remember that Mion face. Remember that, and let's see what happens in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.